Welcome back to another awesome episode of Life on the App. This is episode 98, and I'm here with Kathryn Locke-Jones. Welcome to the pod.
Dude, thanks, Mary Kate.
So excited to have you on.
Happy to be here.
Long-term friend, long-term listener.
Catch me in the comments. One might say that I'm a Garmin groupie, but
You are.
I think I'm a Williams wannabe.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
a fan of you before you took the last name.
Facts.
So
The real ones know.
The real ones know.
True. All right, let me jump into your bio. I mean, we could yap all day, so everyone get ready for this to be a fun one. So this week I'm honored to sit down with not only an incredible educator, but also close friend, Kathryn Locke-Jones. Kat is a 7th grade English and social studies teacher at Hampstead Hill Academy in Baltimore City, where she's been shaping young minds and hearts for over a decade. She was recently named 2025 Maryland Teacher of the Year, a testament to her passion for helping students find their voices and tell their stories. Kat is also the co-founder of SL24, Unlock The Light, and Sean's House, a nonprofit mental health organization founded in the loving memory of her brother, Sean Locke, who tragically passed away by suicide in 2018 at the age of 23. Through SL24, Sean's House, Kat is creating life-saving spaces for young people to receive support, find community, and know they're never alone. Beyond the classroom and her advocacy work, Kat is also a devoted wife to her husband, Nick Jones, Coach Jones, if you know. And a proud mother to 4 beautiful children, the sweetest babies, and somehow, between lesson planning, nonprofit leadership, and championing mental health awareness, she still finds time to show up as a fiercely loving and present mom and partner. She is truly one of the most inspiring women I know, and I can't wait for everyone to hear her story. So welcome.
Dude, Mary Kate.
Welcome.
That made my heart skip a beat. It was really thoughtful and gracious of you. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Of course. We love you. You're amazing. You do so much, and I'm super excited to have you on. Not only the number one thing I know you from is just like all our Lang days and the amazing things.
The Lang takeover.
At Sean's House, SL24, all those amazing things. And I think that's the number one thing my listeners will probably recognize you from.
Yeah.
But you're also literal Maryland Teacher of the Year. Let's just casually throw that in the bio.
Well, I think that any of the teachers that I work with at HHA at Hampstead Hill could have been a teacher of the year. I really work at such a supportive and amazing school, but I also have students of the year, and so much of the work that I do is getting out of the way, getting adults out of the way, so kids can speak and have their own platform and have their own voices, and that's the best part of teaching. Really, is totally letting kids speak.
It's amazing. So let's take it back to the beginning.
Okay.
How did we get here?
Okay, so I feel I
always say elevator pitch.
What's my elevator pitch?
Yeah, okay. Who are you?
Well, I have so many siblings that it was very clear, I'm the oldest of 7, that I wasn't going to do dinner duty.
Right.
I was burning too many scrambled eggs. And so I was sent to homework help. And I think through being around our dining room table with sticky Oreo crumbs and broken crayons, I realized that I love working and helping kids learn. So many people that end up teachers, I had talks at inappropriate times on my report card. And I had a high school teacher at Padua that said, if you spend so much time talking inside my class, you should think about talking in front of a classroom one day.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so Mr. Bino, he was my English teacher, he wrote in my senior yearbook, "You'll make a fine English teacher one day, and one day you'll teach a cat lock of your very own, and then you'll understand."
Yeah.
And so anytime I have a student who is
challenges me
or is a little too talkative, I think 1, this is probably a little bit of payback.
Yep.
But 2, I need to pour into them the way that my teachers poured into me. Padua was so important in my life, and same thing with Mount Aviat, that I was able to find out who I want to be and then be that person well. So I'm really thankful for that experience.
I love that. Padua girl through and through.
I know. Wait, are we allowed to be?
She loves her white box. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us all about Padua.
No, I think there's something to be said.
It's same-sex education, I think.
Yeah, going to an all-girls school was really helpful to me and helped me, you enter, what's the line you enter? A girl with a dream and you leave a woman with vision.
Totally.
And that really was helpful.
Yeah.
I credit them so much.
Yep. I always say I was switched to Ursuline in 6th grade. And I always say I went in a Caterpillar and then I got my wings. Ursuline gave me my wings.
Yeah, 100%.
I was ready. They were ready to come out, and they brought it out of me.
Yeah. And we need that. You need that growth. You need that polish. But also you need the space to mess up and make mistakes. And Padua does a really good job. The teachers there, of calling you in versus calling you out. So a lot of my learning experiences came from teachers noticing that I was making a mistake, and instead of like shaming or embarrassing me, brought me in and said, how about this perspective?
Yeah.
And I think that's what like really good educators do,
Totally.
shifting perspectives for students.
Yeah. And that's what you do.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yes. Obsessed. So how did you end up in Baltimore?
Okay.
So we went to Mount Avia.
Went
we
to
know
Mount
this.
Avia, went to Padua, and then
UD.
I went to UD.
Duh.
Blue
The best
hen.
do.
I mean, they all do, right?
And then they hate us.
Roll
Hate us because
heads.
they ain't us, but
Hate us because they ain't us.
yes, it's the best.
So yeah, I'm a townie, and I very like quickly knew that I was going to go to the University of Delaware, and I studied English education. And I decided to join Teach for America. And Teach for America is, for the listeners that don't know, is for alternative certification. So let's say you were in college or a career transition and you graduated with psych, but you don't have an education background, or
Right.
like you have a history degree, but you don't have a history education. You can go through this program and they'll certify you to become
Cool.
a teacher, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they'll pay for you through AmeriCorps for your master's.
Cool.
And so I very much knew that I wanted to teach in a high needs urban setting. And while I loved my experience at Delaware, I needed a little bit more work about like, I only went to private school. I wanted to kind of address my privilege. I wanted to like get in there and have a very like servant mindset.
Totally.
And TFA really helped develop that.
That's cool.
So you could pick 3 cities. I actually picked Delaware as my first and ended up in Baltimore.
Crazy.
But the reason why I stayed in Baltimore is because I had veteran teachers pour into me. And so as much as it's important for a vet teacher to teach the new teachers like how to work the copier
Right.
and like make sure you're saying hi to the secretary
Yeah.
and like giving the custodial staff
Right.
like extra pizza.
Yeah, yeah.
It's important that they pour into new teachers to get them to stay. And I had so many vets like pour into me and adopt me and love on me. And I think that's why I've stayed as
Yeah.
a teacher so long, because of those relationships.
Yeah, that support is crucial. And like it's funny, every guest we have like has nothing to do with real estate. And then everything they say, I'm like, yep, same
Yeah,
with us.
same thing with real estate.
We need those strong mentors. And like, yes, we've been doing this 7-10 years, whoever on the team, however many years, but like every day is different. And
Yeah.
I'm sure 10 times more with you.
Oh my gosh. And especially teaching in Baltimore, I think there is a vision of what that looks like, whether they've seen it from a TV show or they see something on the news, and like no one loves Baltimore the way that Baltimore loves Baltimore.
I've learned that from you.
And I feel that, but it's
Yeah.
the same thing about Philly. It's
Yes.
the same thing about Delaware.
Yep.
When you find your family and you find your core people, I mean, that's the magic right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And you're very loud and proud Baltimore.
I try to be. And
I
I'm
know.
not even, it's because I'm married to a Baltimore.
I know,
And
so
that's why.
That's what so when did he come into the picture?
Oh, okay. Great question.
So I'm sure that contributed to staying.
Yeah, I had a student, his name was Antonio, and he had like the gift of the Blarney, I would say.
Okay.
So he's a very creative storyteller.
Okay.
And one day he was late and he told me that he was like running and there was a big Mack truck and he stopped the Mack truck with like his hand and he saved a family of kittens' lives. And I was like, Antonio, I'm calling your mom. Like,
Yeah.
please.
You're crazy.
Right. And so he opens up his backpack and he had a little black kitten in his hand and he was like, we're going to keep him, right? I remember calling my roommate at the time and saying like, Brooke, congratulations. We are parents to like a black
We're keeping a cat.
We're keeping the cat. And she was like, I'm
No.
allergic. Our landlord
Yeah.
said, no,
Yeah.
you're a single mother.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, single mother at 23
Yeah.
with this cat. I have to
Can't
figure out
do
what to
it.
do.
Yeah.
And so the students were like, listen, like the PE teacher has a massive crush on you. Like go down and say you'll go
How
on
do
a
they know
date
that?
with them. Because they're 12 and 13.
Right.
They
They
can
pick up
clock
on it.
anything.
Yeah, they know.
So I went down to the gym and I was like, I'll go on one date with you if you like co-parent this cat with me until I move to a new apartment. And he was like, it's not going to be one date. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, he really thought he was doing his big one.
Yeah.
But a cat, 2 dogs, and 4 kids later.
Do you still have that cat?
Oh yeah, Edgar. He
Oh
lives in
my
our basement.
goodness.
He refuses to come up.
Oh
Acts
my
like I
goodness.
didn't save him from the streets of Baltimore. But
And a Mack truck.
I know, in a Mack truck. That's where we got our kid's first name, Mac. After the Mac. No, that's not true. No, it's not true.
It would be very on brand
Wouldn't
for
that
you.
be good? That would be good.
'Cause you have
That'd
a
be
story
good.
for everything.
Right.
You are a storyteller as well. And anyone that follows her on Instagram, you're fantastic at captions and you can't just put up a happy birthday
Yeah,
post. It's
no.
like
I gotta curate. But
Pour
that's
out.
what you're a storyteller
Yeah,
too.
same
That's
thing.
probably the part that you love the most. I would
100%.
say.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. The branding, the storytelling. Yes, I'm obsessed. It's like, it's a blast. And
Yeah, we'll
sometimes
talk about fonts later. You and I.
I love.
Yeah.
So you come from a big family. You're the oldest of 7. Tell us about how like that kind of shaped you into getting into teaching. Because I feel like being the oldest of 7, you think you do the opposite, right? Like I'm over these kids. I've been raising these kids my whole life. And there's like what's the age gap between you and Patty?
Yeah, so we're 14 years apart.
Right.
Yeah.
So like you've literally had kids in your life your whole life.
Yeah. I never felt that.
Really?
And I think it's a real testament to my parents, to
Yeah.
Chris and Norma, where if someone was to ask me like what my childhood is most like, it's like cheaper by the dozen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I very much felt like everything my family did, we were doing it together.
Right.
And so I kind of try to bring that into my classroom every single day, where we because I get to add new kids to our family, to our school family, which is awesome.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful. So you're also a mom and you're growing your own little cheaper by the dozen family. So tell us about that. How are we balancing? Like something that I really admire with teachers is that you go to school and you said you have how many students? 37?
Yeah, 37.
37 students. And then you go home to your own class, right? Like your own children. How? Like I have mom friends that are also teachers and I'm like, and my sister's a teacher. I can't comprehend it. Like,
well, part of it is I'm married to a teacher. Right, so like
that helps.
If you can do a field day for 300 students together, 4 kids at home,
a breeze.
Seems like, okay, we got this. We can divide and conquer.
Right.
I think it's different. And I think part of it too really lends into like, we've talked about this before. I did fertility treatments with my boys. And so I think for a really long time, I was struggling with the idea of like, having a big family and being a part of a big family and those being different ideas and like where does my identity, am I just gonna like have a lot of siblings or are my kids gonna have a lot of siblings? And so you really struggle with that, but that created a mindset of gratitude.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you've seen the TikTok trend where it's like, on tough days, think about when you're 80, you're gonna want to go back to this moment.
This is the number one reason I want more kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of a Garmin baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're the cutest.
We'll see. Prayers up. We'll see soon.
Prayers up. But yeah, I think that coming through a lens of like, it doesn't always have to be graceful, but it always have to be gracious.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I try to look at motherhood.
Amazing.
But motherhood is also like, my kids are experiencing their childhood and that's their own perspective, and how they view things is different than how I experience as a mom. I'm a first time mom every single day.
Yes.
And so the best part of being a mom is having A, multiple identities, and B, having friends that I get to grow and do this with.
Yep, totally. And a fresh start every day.
Them.
You make a mistake one day and the next day you get a fresh start.
Yeah, it's like, the same thing in the classroom.
Let's do it again.
The kid that was like tapping his pencil or doing whatever, come Thursday, it's a new day, and they know that. And I think your kids know that. That's important.
Yeah, and they're so forgiving.
Right.
They're so forgiving.
Man, I need to be more like them.
I know, same. So kind of switching gears, we've had your dad on the podcast. We've talked all things Sean's House, SL24. Sean, your brother, passed away. It feels like it was just yesterday, I'm sure, even more so for you. But it's been, what are we at? 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah. So he passed away in 2018.
Yeah. So we're coming up on it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, how did SL24 come to be? From what I've heard, it was like your idea.
That's kind. I would say it's my siblings' ideas.
Yeah. Because like and sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, dude.
It's for me, like I like am amazed by your guys' strength, because like I don't know, like, you know, you can put yourself in anyone's shoes, and like I don't know how you guys have taken something so horrific and created like such an amazing, you know, forever space.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think a real root of that like comes from grief.
Yeah.
And this is an emotion that we like don't really always talk about. And I think at first I was really afraid of grief, because it's scary and it's overwhelming and it means loss. But when I look at grief from a different perspective, it's kind of like a heavy winter coat. And so, yes, you can feel overheated and it can weigh you down, but it also provides you warmth and comfort.
Yeah.
And I'm a better person because I understand like the nuances of emotions. But where there is great grief, there's great love.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the conversations with, if we go back to that sticky dining room table, is like, we wanted to make sure that someone else didn't have a brother not there.
Right.
the hardest part of grief for me is when we have big family dinners, whether it's, at our house or at Taverna, Sean's not there.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for him to
show
there.
up.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, is this kid late again?
Right.
Like, Aiden, can you call him? Like, can you figure this out? And so with that like missing, aching feeling, we wanted to kind of like navigate that. And it's a testament to Sean, but it's also a testament to his friends because they were the ones that really rallied.
Yeah.
Whether it's like
that's a Sean friends group,
or Trevor or the boys or the girls, like they really wanted something in honor of him. And so we were able to help navigate that and give them that space. But it's a testament to Delaware. Like Delaware showed up and showed off
big time
at the basketball classic or at the volleyball classic that's coming up down in Dewey. And so, I'm very thankful that this is where I call home. Yeah. Even though I'm down 95, but Delaware's always home.
It's close. Yeah. Delaware's home.
First state, baby.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. So for someone that doesn't know, and maybe they didn't listen to your dad's episode or they've never heard of Sean's house, what is Sean's house?
Great question. And so Sean's house is located on 136 West Main Street. It's off the University of Delaware's campus, and it is a mental health safe haven for kids between the ages of 14 through 24. And so when we were thinking about what Sean's house looked like, I very much came in from an educator lens. Like, I want to make sure that when our students, their voices quiver and they're not sure how to say the next line, they have a space to go to. And Sean's house really is that place. Uniquely, Sean's house was Sean and Kevin and Victor's and so many other houses in Delaware. That's where he went to school, or that's where he lived when he was at the University of Delaware. And the thing that I'm most proud about 136 is we have this phrase like 136 will always be home. It was home for Sean, but it's now home for a bunch of other kids who
thousands
never knew Sean or were never like they're different than Sean, or it's so many different things. It's home for everyone. That's what I love the most about it. Yeah,
it's beautiful work you guys do there. So Sean, for anyone that doesn't know, lived in this house. He rented this house while he was at Delaware. So they took that house. It's a literal home with bedrooms and a kitchen, and it was low key a frat house while he was there. It was a classy frat house.
I can't say that. The floor is very sticky. It's not sticky anymore.
Yes,
but shout out to you and Vince. You guys were there and you rehabbed it.
Yeah,
we'll show the cute photo of you guys like with your spatulas.
So people came together, and like this was like COVID times, it was wild times, and people came together and we took time slots and came in, and this was a frat boy house vibes, and they turned it from, and like one of the bedrooms I don't think we were even allowed to go in back in the day. Like Lang had it shut.
They're like, nah.
They turned this old school, tons of character. That house had a ton of character,
which I love.
You refurbished a lot of that character. You turned rooms into office spaces and meeting spaces, and it's a huge house, which is amazing.
People can come in, and if they just want to sit and grab a cup of coffee or some cookies, they can do that. If they want to meet with a peer support specialist, which is like one of the things I'm most proud of, they can talk to someone, have a courageous conversation with a peer who's had a lived experience. If they are in crisis or they need therapy, we will connect them with a therapist. And if they need to use our scholarship program, we will pay for it as long as they need, no questions asked.
It's amazing.
But it's also really great. I mean, you're an athlete, so you know this. We have athlete dinners, we have student group dinners, and really the rule is like, we just don't want you to talk about your sport. When athletes are done college, identity. It's really hard for that transition of like, who are you after that? And so we try and help give them those tools at Sean's house.
Because I feel like, and I don't want to speak for you or speak for Sean, but like that's something he struggled with.
Oh, definitely. 100%. I think Sean, there's so many like layers to suicide. I think people often think like it's one reason. It's a multiple things, and it's really not about the reason, but it's about like what support should have been there for the person to be able. And I really just think Sean didn't have the language. We weren't talking about mental health the way that we talk about it now. And so I always want to make sure in the classroom that my students have the language to ask for help, and they know what that looks like and sounds like, whether they're in Baltimore, whether they're in Newark or Wilmington or Dewey, wherever it is.
And it's 24 hours.
100%.
It's amazing. And like when you walk in, when you like walk up, there's a literal light that's on all the time. And it's 24-hour support. So if you are at 3 a.m., 1 a.m., whatever time.
And that light is always on because Delaware is always on.
Right.
And like The reason that we're able to do the work that we do is because of people donating their light, and not just donating like monetary funds, which we are extremely gracious and grateful for, but their time, their connections, their food, just like that's the part that matters so much.
Yep. And even if it's just like a like on Instagram, like just following along, like give the page a follow if you're interested, or not. But like, it'll be like, oh, Taverna sponsored dinner tonight. And we have the Chi Omega sisters here to talk about
so
whatever.
great.
And it's just so many different communities coming, because like, like what I think our society pictures as depression is, the emo kid in the corner.
Right.
And it's not always that. It can be the beautiful blonde athlete that was just in the CAAs and crushed it. It doesn't have, there's no like boundaries to who this can affect.
Yeah. So there's this education term that Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop talks about, and it's called windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors. And so when you're looking at like text that you put in front of students, you want it to be a window, so something that they can see outside of the world, a mirror where they can see themselves in the story, and then a sliding glass door where they do both. And that's really what mental health education should be. We have to be culturally responsive around it. So when we're talking about mental health, people should see themselves. They should see other perspectives, and really good work. The work that we're trying to do at Sean's house is a sliding glass door where they can open it and go in and out when they need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And even with me, like, and my husband, like we have, days and weeks and months where we're good, like having 2 babies, like the postpartum experience rocked me with Murphy, like absolutely rocked me. And like, it's a silent battle, and nobody warns you about that. Nobody says, when you're pregnant,
it's like, it's not on the blogs.
It's not on the blogs. And it's like when people are rubbing your belly and they're like, I loved being pregnant. And I'm like, I literally want to jump off a cliff. Like, I'm struggling. This is hard. This is terrible. Like this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, so that's like how I can relate to it, but it's, it could be anyone and anything.
And I think too, like we teach toddlers, we read the nice little books to them about feelings, and they're able to identify that. And then those conversations stop when they get to be like 12 or 13 or 14.
It's so true.
And that's like the age group that I work with. And so that's something that we're really purposeful about at Sean's house and at SL24 is like the conversation doesn't need to stop.
Right.
You just need to ask the right questions and give students the space to talk.
Right. And you guys are opening up rooms. So it seems on Instagram, like you have one in St. Mark's, like you're now starting to like get into the high schools.
Yeah.
And your dad's always spoken at all the high schools. So it seems.
Chris Locke loves a keynote.
He loves a keynote.
And honestly, he's so great at it.
He is great at it.
Like, if I can have Chris Locke's gift of the gab in any capacity.
You do.
Oh. You should get Patty on here. She's
funnier.
Man.
Oh man. I need her to like open up to me and like be my friend. I don't think I'm cool enough to be friends with her.
Oh, everyone is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. But no, like being in rooms is important. Being in high schools is important. For one, people can't always drive to Newark. But then 2, the teachers know the students the best. And being able to partner with teachers and guidance counselors and admin, they're saying like, hey, we're investing in this for real. Yeah. And we're giving you a space, and we're giving you resources, and we'll provide them with the peers and what that looks like. And so Sean's room, I definitely think, is something that we're really proud of because it's for kids and it's by kids.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So anyone that wants to support, get involved. I know we have an event coming up. What other ways can people support?
Yeah, so if they are in Dewey the weekend of July 17th, we're doing a Rock the Docks benefit concert. First one. So excited for that. Then on July 18th, we're going to be at Camp Rehoboth, and then finishing up the Dewey weekend, July 20th at the Bumset Light volleyball tournament. Now, were you a volleyball girly?
Yes, I was, and I'm a 3-time state champion. So I actually was, but a lot of people don't know that about me.
She will be playing.
No, so I've torn my ACL 2 times, so I'm done sports.
It always is.
I'm done sports. People are always like, oh, come play in this volleyball league or come play in this basketball league. Oh, it's a women's only, mom, whatever. I refuse.
Yeah, so I don't have that story. I was a personality hire for all athletics. They were like, she's funny. We'll keep her on the team. Yeah. She's kind of tall. Yeah. Maybe it'll work out. Never did.
Never.
But yeah, I think what I love the most about Dewey, and this is similar to Trolley, is our whole thought with Bumset Light is like local light.
Yeah.
When you're a Dewey local, you ride for that community in ways that is amazing, and it's all inspiring. And so we're really lucky to be a part of the local light and shine so many great sponsorships, so many great people, and highlight the work that they're doing down at the beach.
Obsessed. Yeah. I love it. So if you want to get involved, that's an easy way. And then what if I'm listening to this and, maybe I have some extra funds laying around, or maybe I have some time on my hands? Like, how can I get involved and help?
Follow us at Unlock The Light or at Sean's.house so you can see kind of what we're up to. Our website is amazing and they do such a great work, but really just being a part of the conversation is amazing. And so, yes, if you want to get involved with Unlock The Light and Sean's house, we want you to be a part of our team. Come be a lighthouse. But if you have a second, check in with a strong friend. Check in with someone that you care about, that maybe you've noticed some things or maybe you haven't, because ultimately it's taught me to have courageous conversations and to ask questions that I wish someone would ask me to someone else. And you know this too, like we all kind of wear a mask. And, you know, that doesn't mean that's not who we are in elements, but sometimes you need to know it's okay to be soft. And softness does not equal weakness.
Right. And it's okay to not be okay. Like
100%.
It's okay to admit when you need help.
Definitely.
Something I struggle with big time.
Same.
Big time. So let's kind of pivot to like all things cat.
Oh my God.
So
stop.
I'm like obsessed with the mom world, right? Like I'm very much, that's my vibe right now. I'm all in on the kids. I love this world. But being a mom, you are managing a household, you're managing a nonprofit, you're managing your day-to-day teacher of the year, all things teacher. How do you balance? Like, what are we doing? How are we balancing this life?
So the first thing I have like learned from working moms is like, if you're doing a keynote, you're most likely missing a kindergarten pickup.
Right.
And if you're at a baseball game, you're most likely needing to give feedback on something.
Right.
And life is a balance. But how lucky are you to have so many balls to juggle? And so there are not times where I'm doing things perfectly, and there are not times where everyone is getting that moment. But I want to make sure that my kids know I'm there and that I'm the loudest in the room for them as much as I'm the loudest in the room for, you know, education advocacy. And I think that your voice can be lended in multiple ways. But I get to be bold in rooms because like Nick loves me boldly. And I think it was you and Vince where my dad like had a conversation about he was so lucky to find his Norma. And I feel so lucky to have found my Nick. Like he's my best friend.
Same. We're the same way. I think that's one of the reasons we bond so much is like, I'm a lot to handle. Like, I think you and I are similar.
100%.
I'm a lot. Like, I'm a bold personality. I am a 5'10" redhead. Like, I'm a bold personality.
Bold personalities.
He can't help but sneak in. I love my husband so much.
This was the perfect time. I was waiting to sneak in.
What's up, how are you?
How we doing?
We're just talking about our husbands.
Yes. So I am a bold personality, and I always knew it would take a very special person to be with me. I have mood swings. One moment I'm the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. Like I'm a lot. I'm overly confident. Some would consider me cocky, and I'm a big personality. And I feel like you're the same way. How lucky are we to be big and bold and joyful? So I have a couple things to that. First, like my point is like oftentimes when women take up space, people think we take up too much space. And my point is we don't. No.
Like women are allowed to take up space. And we should.
And we don't need to apologize for it.
And I'm not. We're not going to. And then the second is my family calls Nick Saint Nick. And because he is married to me and that's a special type of person. But Nick does a really good job with his friends or with his students. He always calls people in instead of calling them out. And whether we're dealing with a conflict or we're just like going through day-to-day life, he constantly saying, hey, we're on the same team. And man, isn't that great to know that you're on the same team with your partner?
Totally. So lucky. And just lifting each other up all the time.
Always.
Because it's not like 50-50. Like,
no, it never is.
It never is. It never is. Everything's a season. There's weeks where I'm 100 and he's 0, and there's weeks where we're flip-flopped, and it's crazy. But yeah, I think you have to have somebody that's on your team, to your point, and just encouraging you on the good days and the bad days.
100%.
Yeah, and you guys are amazing. Like and like for us, I always say like we couldn't do all of this without like our team, our you know, bench players or whatever, my in-laws, you know, my sisters, like it's amazing. Like we can't do it all without the help.
We're lucky to have a village, and we get to have that village because we pour into it and they pour into us. And it's the best thing I ever have is being a Locke.
All right, so let's kind of pivot to all things. We already started all things Kat, but you're a Newark girl at heart. So you grew up in Newark. Now, have you ever lived anywhere besides Newark or Baltimore?
No.
No. Okay. So let's not go Baltimore because our listeners are Delawareans.
Let's do Newark, baby.
Let's do all things Newark, all things. Let's just open it up to Delaware.
Okay, I'm here for it.
So
the great state.
Kat Locke's favorites. So what's your favorite? Are you a coffee girl? Coffee drinker?
Coffee free since 91.
What?
Yeah.
Never drank it?
No, I did have a coworker who said
And you're a teacher.
Yeah, they said like you're gonna drink coffee at the end of your first year, and I was like, you don't know what
bet.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bet. So I was like kind of rude to them. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll have a cup of coffee with my like husband the day we get married if he really cares about that. Anyway, so the coworker ended up being my husband. So I
Obsessed.
did have to drink a cup of coffee the day after we got married. But after
So
that,
funny.
coffee free,
That's
baby.
it.
But,
Not
yeah.
interested. Do you do any caffeine?
I'll have like a tea.
All right, so I can't say favorite coffee shop.
No, I'm so sorry.
All right, so favorite restaurant. Are you just going to say Taverna?
So I'm going to say different chapters in my life.
Okay.
So when I was at Delaware, my dad and I had a standing date every Wednesday, half price sandwiches
That's so
at Plaza
sweet.
Kate's.
Obsessed.
So Kate's is definitely important to me.
Even with the ownership change.
I love Kate's.
Same. I used to work at Kate's, so
right,
it's
so you
always
know.
near and dear to my heart. My husband still calls me the heart of Main Street.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I would say
thanks.
that. And then Taverna is obviously
Yeah.
where we go any single time I'm there.
Yeah.
But I also really love Homegrown. That was another place that I went in Deer Park.
Yeah, the go-tos. Yeah.
And you know, you got to do a Slater at Grotto's.
Of course. And we did a Slater with the team one time, and half of them had never even had it. So I'm a
Sorry to cough.
you're good. He'll cut it out.
It was a Slater reference.
oh,
It,
yeah.
caused something in you. Triggered something.
Took you back.
Took me back.
Yeah. All right. So Taverna, Kate's, all things Main Street. Love that. What's your go-to pizza spot?
Ooh, oh my God, so tough. Margaritas.
Yeah, but they moved.
I
Is
know.
it the same since they moved?
So
I haven't had it since they moved.
The Della Monica is a Mount Aviat family, and
Okay.
so I do love. I mean, I'll have to say I love margaritas.
It's fire. It's
yeah,
so
it's
good.
so fun. What about you? Where do you get pie?
We're Gianni's people, like we're Charlie people for life. So a lot of Gianni's. But when I was at UG, I would crush a margarita slice.
Yeah, of
like
course.
sober, drunk, any kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like Justice for Grotto's Pizza.
Yeah.
I think it's really great.
Same.
And I love
Same.
it.
I ride for Grottos.
Yeah.
People that rip on it, I'm like, okay, sorry. If your school ordered too much, I think it's. Grottos for me at least, especially going to Ursuline, became like the school pizza.
Yeah,
it was the
definitely.
pizza they would have at the birthday parties. It was the school.
Yeah.
It was like
After a
the free
basketball game,
pizza
after CYO.
They gave it out at camps. Like it became the free pizza.
Yeah. So when I, one of my coworkers is from Wilmington. He went to Mount Pleasant, Brandon. And when we like come back and bring things from Delaware home, we bring
Grottos.
Grottos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also always bring Milburn Orchard's
Nice.
apple cider donuts.
Of course, those are so good.
So
So good.
good.
Are you a wings eater? Do you like wings?
I'm not a wings girl.
Okay, we don't drink coffee, we don't eat wings.
I know. I eat everything else, I promise. But one of the big conversations that I have been having is where is the best sandwich
Okay.
in Delaware?
And what is the answer?
Right now, I think it's Malin's.
Duh.
And
I
I
love Malin's.
You know, 10 toes down,
Vince-
standing on business. It's Malin's.
So
right?
fire. So fire. Vincent and I like fell in love over Malin's. Like for those of you who don't know, technically we met on Tinder. Then we had like a brief stint of just being friends. And I like
Right.
friend zoned him for a while.
As you should.
As I
Right.
should.
Right.
And then we ended up, falling in love and getting married. But in that friend zone chapter, Malin's was like our go-to.
Right.
Like we would
And-
just crush Malin's.
In the Vince, Mary Kate love story, as someone that got to witness it,
Yeah.
I would say that he fell first, but you fell harder.
Big time.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that story
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
You know what I
When
mean?
we first met, it was like, oh, we're just, college kids hanging
Right.
out, whatever. But the second round, like, it all happened the way it was meant to. And
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
our friendship is probably like what our, why we're so strong and why we're so good today.
Yeah.
And probably you and Nick are the same.
Oh, 100%. Like we're coming up on our anniversary, and we always say like, I like you and I love you.
Yeah.
And I think that's 100%
I love
true.
that in your captions. I always
Yeah.
see that in your
I like
captions.
you and I love you, baby.
Some days I question one or the other because we work together, which
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
We work together. It's a lot. We're together a lot. And some days he makes me crazy. But at the end of the day, I do like him a lot. I think
Yeah.
liking is the harder option.
Yeah, and I respect and same thing with Vince. If you're in here, Vince,
He's not.
I respect his opinion as much
Yeah.
as I respect Nick's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And how lucky are we to love someone that's different than us?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
So if you guys are here, you're staying the week and you're at your parents' house or whatever, and you guys get a date night, where are you guys going to go?
Can the answer be Taverna again?
Yes,
it's
fine.
Taverna. It's
Yeah,
Taverna.
it's Taverna.
Like, I'm a Taverna local. I love it. A loyalist. I
You're
love
just a
Carl's
Newark
work.
girly.
I
Do you
really
ever
am.
come to Wilmington?
Wait, great question. So when Nick first came to Main Street, I was like giving him the tour and like telling him all these like great places to eat, and he was like, I don't believe the food mecca of the world is Newark, Delaware. You get one thing, like, and that's it, but it cannot be the best for anything. And we laugh. We've been together for almost 12 years now. I don't think he's ever eaten
in Wilmington
outside of outside of Main Street.
That's what I mean. Like he's never been anywhere else in Delaware.
I think we've gone to Cafe Napoli. I used to work.
That also doesn't count.
Well, so that's what I'm saying.
You guys gotta come to
we're coming
Wilmington.
to Trolley.
Yeah, you got to come to Wilmington.
we're
It's
coming to
ultimately
Trolley.
Bardea. You have to just go to Bardea.
Okay, we're
that's
ready.
really the main one you have to try.
I'm only going to Bardea if I can go with you and Vince.
Deal.
And you can walk me through the menu.
Deal. It's
all right. I'm down.
I have my favorites, and I'm very passionate about my favorites. Any other local businesses you want to shout out? Newark and beyond.
I have to shout out Formal Affairs.
Of course. How have we not talked about Formal Affairs?
Tuxedo needs.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Stay formal. But no, I have to shout out Formal Affairs because the best life lessons I learned was working in a tuxedo store.
Totally. So give us some context on Formal Affairs.
I would say, so my parents own Formal Affairs, 257 East Main Street.
Best prom special in the state.
Special in the state.
Yeah.
What makes us really special is we have our tuxedos in stock. So if something doesn't fit, we don't have to special order it. We can run to the back room.
Yep.
And it's a family owned business. But I learned so much from shining shoes and working with people. And mostly I learned how to listen. Like weddings are the most important day for someone. And a wedding is a day, a marriage lasts a lifetime. And so getting that perspective when working in the bridal industry was really great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. They dressed us. They dressed all of our men in our wedding. And Vincent will like panic and be like, oh my gosh, we have a black tie wedding this weekend. I have nothing to wear. And just like,
come on down.
Come on down. And they
listen,
dress them up every time.
We, some people talk about from like crib to casket. And so like get your prom tuxedo at Formal Affairs. And then when you come to Delaware, get your college apartment at Lang Development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know Lang, that's where Vincent and I kind of got our real estate start. Her dad, Chris Locke, who's been on our podcast, pretty much runs Lang along with Jeff Lang. They're like the yin and yang. The yin and yang of LDG.
And I've learned so much from Jeff, so much from the Lang family.
Yes.
I am so lucky to love them. I really am.
Truly. No, truly.
Like,
we all are. And we say it all the time, we wouldn't be in these seats if it wasn't for Jeff and Chris. Like I wouldn't have my real estate license, neither would Vincent. Like we truly would not be in these seats. I would have never bought my first house. I would have like so much of my life,
Okay, so I love this idea. We're rebranding. We're going to be Jeff and Chris. Just like the girl version.
The girl version, and better.
The better. We'll have better mascara, better hair.
Significantly.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Sorry,
I'm in. So where can people follow you if they want to check you out? SL24, all things.
So they can follow us at Unlock The Light, or they can follow us at Sean's.house. Sean spelled SEANS. .HOUSE, or if they want to hang out with me and see pictures of all thing education, they can follow me at cat.lojo. Locke-Jones, Lojo. That's what my students call me.
She's just like super cool, guys.
Yeah, come check out my captions.
And she's got the best captions.
Give me some feedback.
The best captions. If you want a good like birthday caption, like she's the girl to ask.
I'll write you a poem, a haiku.
It's the best. I read every single word. Some people I'm like, oh, we get it. You love your husband. But yours, I'm like, no, she really loves her husband.
I really do. It helps.
It's genuine. It's
okay,
genuine.
Wait. Can I ask you some questions?
I'm ready.
I got two for you.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first one is, I am an English teacher, so I teach a lot of books. What was the best book that you read in high school or in school? Your favorite book?
Favorite book. Oh my gosh. I'm like, have the worst memory from high school. Let me think. This is hard.
Pat, you want to chime in? The Hatchet. Underrated.
What books have I read? What books did they make us
what
read?
A great one. Yeah.
I want to say like The Outsiders, but that's so lame.
No, it's not.
I also want to say like, I don't know. Vincent, what's the best book you read in high school?
Okay, stay gold.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I would probably say The Outsiders.
I gotta run to a
Okay, I love you.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, what are you
We're
doing
wrapping up.
Are you gonna pick up with the kids? You should.
Actually,
It'd be great.
we could. I'm going to a barbecue at Sean's house if you guys want to come.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Brandon.
We got swim tonight. Swim
I'll
lessons.
tell them they need to buy some houses for him.
What's my favorite book I read? Oh my gosh, is this terrible? Like Ursula didn't teach me any books?
No, they did.
Nothing's coming to mind.
Great Gatsby.
Never read that.
The Giver.
Yeah, The Giver. I would say The
Okay.
Giver. The Giver's a good one. But I feel like I read that in middle school.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I would say The Giver. Yeah, is that a lame answer?
No, it's not. It's my favorite book. I teach it right now. It's
Oh, no
my
way.
favorite
We're still
book to
teaching The Giver?
Oh, The Giver is more important now than it is like ever.
Really? I feel like I should read it again.
You definitely should.
Yeah.
It's about a dystopian society. Well, utopian, but
Yeah.
the gag is it's a dystopian.
Yeah.
And really it like talks about, it's a mental health book that the conversation is like, because there wasn't a community, like people don't have that connection.
Right. There's no connection.
Yeah. Shout out to The Giver.
I should read it again. I definitely haven't read it
Lois
since then.
Lowry, my girl, crushing it.
What's my other question?
Okay, ready?
Hopefully I have a better answer.
This one's a great one. Okay. So I'm going to bring out my note app for this one. So on my phone, I have a note that says celebs I will trust with my life.
Okay.
I don't think there was any skips here. And so I'm going to read you my list and you're going to tell me a celeb you would trust with your life at the end. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First one, Maggie Smith, Professor McGonagall, Dolly Parton, Paul Rudd, Julie Andrews, Denzel,
Yes.
David Attenborough, James Earl Jones, Keanu Reeves, Queen Latifah, Zendaya, Stevie
Zendaya.
Nicks, Fred
Nicks.
Rogers, Steve Irwin, Olivia Benson,
You're such a Swiftie.
obviously, and Derek Jeter. What do we got?
I would say like Adam Sandler.
Adam
because I feel like
Sandler.
I'd have a fun life. And he looks like a great dad. He's married. He's
Right.
been with his wife for like a million years. I feel
You
like he'd
could
be
borrow
great.
his gym shorts.
Yes. His
Now, are
basketball
you trusting
shorts.
him in an emergency situation? I know Denzel can land a plane. I know.
Yeah, emergency
Olivia
situation,
Benson,
scary. Right.
Mariska is helping me in a court of law.
She's got you.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust him in an emergency.
That's fine.
Because next one I would say is like Will Ferrell, but same answer. Like, wouldn't trust
Right.
him in an emergency.
No, but you know, it's holiday magic. That's important
I gotta
too.
think this one through.
Think it through. Let me know in the comments.
Okay, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
What celebrity would you trust your life with?
100%.
And this is good times and bad.
Good times and in bad. You know, there are some people that you just need a little Dolly Parton in your life.
Dolly Parton for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
She's literally giving away books for free.
100%. And you know, like, no woman has ever started a world war, and I stand by that. I stand by that. And neither is Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be a woman now that you say that. I would need a woman. I don't know why I went straight to male.
It's a patriarchy.
It's
it's
tough out
everywhere.
here. It's hard. It's tough out here. And then I wanted to say like Hillary Duff after that. I'm just such a
Honestly,
Lizzie
though-
McGuire girl.
Why not? Shout out to Lizzie, justice for Hillary. I'll never forget you, Disney Channel.
I know we need some more Disney Channel back in our lives. Thank God for Disney Plus with the throwbacks because it's keeping me alive.
You need it, baby.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
Those were
for
two
having
hard
me.
questions. I'm gonna be laying awake at night watching my ceiling fan
Yeah, I
thinking
want to
about.
know. Text me what Vince says.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to know the whole crew.
Yeah.
I want to know where Garmin stands.
All right, deal.
What's their
We'll
celeb
drop
of
them in
choice?
right here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Another awesome episode of Life on the Ab. Episode
Thanks for having me.
98. Holy smokes, we're getting ready to hit 100 soon. Thank you everyone who listened. And follow Kat. All things SL24, all things Sean's House. Go to Bump Set, like, and Dewey. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.